For the second day running, the Azimio leader Raila Odinga has publicly shared his thoughts on the ruling by the 7-judge bench led by Chief Justice Martha Koome in regards to the outcome of the August 9th general election.
You have noticed the attitude, the thuggery, the corruption, and the cynicism of the Supreme Court judges. And the Chief Justice has gone out to a funeral in her village and defended the judgment even before she gives out the detailed ruling. Supreme Court is now in politics. And she said that the ruling was inspired by God. I believe it was inspired by the devil.
The unrelenting ODM leader faulted the move by the Supreme Court to unanimously dismiss portal infiltration claims in his petition, terming the evidence, quote, hot air, having fallen acutely short of the evidentiary threshold.
The words that the Chief Justice used against us have never been used in our courts, even in the dark days of single-party rule and state capture of the judiciary. Chief Justice Martha Koome described our case, presented by the country's finest legal minds, as no more than hot air, a wild goose chase, incredible and hearsay evidence, red herring. These were words of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya.
Further, the leader claims that the court intentionally singled out submissions by lawyer Julie Soweto, in which Odinga's legal team claimed a Venezuelan national named Jose Camargo interfered with the public portal during the August 9th polls.
It is my experience that whenever judges resort to insults on litigants and advocates, it is the result of a disturbed conscience. You have been here before. You have come from a judiciary that invested in threats and humiliation of litigants and advocates so that the country would not question them. That is the Supreme Court we witnessed in the presidential election case.
Odinga lamented that the 7-judge bench has resorted to intimidation of a section of leaders and Kenyans when they move to disagree with the ruling made. He castigated the move by Justice Isaac Lenaola, where he allegedly threatened Busia Senator Okiya Omtatah, who was one of the petitioners in the case.
Today, the Supreme Court is threatening those talking against the judgment in the presidential petition. According to Madam Martha Koome, that judgment is not supposed to be discussed by anyone, anywhere. The court registrar has already issued threats on those who have criticized the despicable judgment of the court. In fact, Justice Isaac Lenaola is publicly accused of threatening one of the petitioners, Senator Okiya Omtatah.
Moreover, Odinga claims the recent move by the President William Ruto's led regime of appointing 6 judges and allocating more resources to the judiciary is an indicator that the third arm of the government is under state capture.
From our history as a country, we know this is an indication of a very disturbed conscience. It is the evidence of a court that sold its soul. The actions of the Chief Justice are clearly sycophantic. She has demeaned the dignity of the office of Chief Justice. In less than a year, she has destroyed what her predecessors achieved in 10 years. As if this is not bad enough, there's clearly a push by the executive to own the judiciary through illegal actions that amount to bribery.
However, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Iebc chair Wafula Chebukati was not spared by the ODM leader Raila Odinga, accusing him of going against the mandate of the electoral body in the last month's polls.
First, you have noticed the corruption, the dysfunction, the incompetence, and the capture of the Iebc, the body charged with carrying out elections in our country. 2, transform and reform the Iebc and make it capable of conducting credible elections.
This comes as the leaders allied to the United Green Movement have faulted Odinga for his scathing attacks on the judiciary and Iebc.
The Supreme Court is the highest in the land. It's supposed to help us bring closure. It does not have to decide in the way you want. The only thing it helps us do as a country is it helps us bring closure. So the 2022 presidential election, there was closure.
The leaders, led by former Ndhiwa Member of Parliament Agostino Neto, are now urging every leader and institution to play its sole mandate while placing the interest of the 50 million Kenyans at the forefront.
Many of us may not agree with it, but the courts have spoken. It's an institution of our democracy. That is what makes us different from wild animals. And that's why we are not in George Orwell's Animal Farm. The courts have spoken. In their view, Iebc conducted a credible, verifiable election. Let's move on with it.
It remains to be seen if the Chief Justice Martha Koome-led Judiciary and the Wafula Chebukati-led Iebc will respond to Odinga's claims that will seem never ending anytime soon. Abdiaziz Hashim, Ibru TV.